Hello, America, and to our friends around the world, greetings. Here is a nightmare scenario. As if society and our history hasn't been plagued enough with Lotharios and Black Widows. As many of you are well aware, there is an online evolution of this tactic, colloquially known as catfishing. It's an evil scheme, meant to prey upon each of us and our emotional vulnerabilities, often resulting in such severe levels of shame that the victim, after having been betrayed, won't confide the abuse to anyone for fear of further humiliation. Over the past decade, I've worked with men and women having been victimized by such despicable acts. The emotional damage is so incredibly deep that their embarrassment prevents them from following through to file any attempt of a complaint or charges. Part of that is a societal issue. Far too often it is easy to mock the victim, forgetting that each and every one of us is just as susceptible to such a vile con. Those who are vulnerable aren't just the outliers of society, the misfits of your social group, the elderly, the survivors of their long-time marriage having ended by death. It's anyone and everyone who's ever felt alone, even for a moment. Ask anyone who's ever investigated such matters, they'll tell you the same thing. Without regard for social status, mental ability, or appearance, the victims of such love cons have no boundaries. With my PSA preface concluded of encouraging you and me to take action and help protect one another from these monsters, I'm going to take a hard tack to the other side of this nightmarish hustle. Human events brings us another angle which is often overlooked in such criminal enterprises. The hostage slave victim. The patsy, if you will. The fall guy or fall gal. 15 March 2024. Hundreds held hostage, forced to pose as online lovers to lure victims into scam ring, rescued in Philippines. By Katie Daviscourt, Human Events. On Thursday, authorities rescued hundreds of people in the Philippines who fell victim to a scam ring that forced them to pose as lovers online. Police raided the scam center near Manila and rescued 383, that's 383 Filipinos, 202 Chinese, and 73 foreign nationals. The center had been masquerading as a gambling firm, according to the BBC, British Broadcasting Corporation. A Vietnamese man had escaped from the Bam Ban Center on February 28. He climbed up a wall, crossed a river, and sought refuge at a farm. The farm owners alerted authorities to the situation, which sparked the raid per the BBC. The man, who is in his 30s, told authorities that he had arrived in the Philippines in January after being offered a job as a chef. However, he fell prey to human traffickers conducting an online love and cryptocurrency scam ring instead, according to Winston Casio, spokesman for the Presidential Commission Against Organized Crime. Casio said that those trapped in the Ban Ban Center were compelled to send sweet nothings to their victims, many of whom were Chinese. The purpose of the correspondence was to ask questions about the person's day and their most recent meal. Additionally, they would exchange selfie-style photos in an effort to strengthen their bond. The spokesman said that the scam center trapped good-looking men and women to lure victims. Signs of torture had been discovered on the man's arm, which included marks and scars from electrocution. Several others also tried to escape the facility but were caught, according to Casio. During the raid, police seized ammunition and multiple firearms from the center. This included a 9mm pistol, two .38 caliber revolvers, and 42 rounds of live ammunition. In what is still their largest bust to date, Philippine authorities in May of last year freed over 1,000 people who were being held captive and coerced into conducting online scams inside a Freeport zone in Clark, a city located to the north of Manila. Within this report, I want to advise you to not disregard the importance of such questions these catfishers employed as asking what it was that one had to eat. Asking what appears to be such low-level questions about everyday activities bypasses one's normal defense mechanisms, and in the process of getting through, it builds what is referred to as rapport. If you're not familiar with rapport, think of it this way. Once you've established rapport with another individual, it's a master key to being able to unlock another's innermost desires and thoughts. As I've recommended in the past, Christopher Hadnagy wrote a book on social engineering titled Social Engineering. Within the book are descriptions of how developing rapport with one's target allows for security exploits to be used. A most recent example of such exploits are the videos from OMG, O'Keefe Media Group, which find James O'Keefe, formerly of Project Veritas, being able to pull a Clark Kent, literally, dyed hair, glasses, and successfully gain information about the inner workings of the White House from an individual trained in such tactics. So if a trained professional can have social engineering scams such as this successfully work on them, be aware of yourself and those around you and help anyone who is in such situations to file the appropriate reports to put an end to it.